What a time to be in the crypto market. With President Trump aiming to completely reset global trade, I certainly did not have that on my bingo card for this year. And as you'll soon see, this has given a very rare opportunity to buy altcoins at amazing discounts. However, there also may be something more going on behind the scenes. And so in this video, we'll be looking at the crazy price action as a lot of craziness has been going on. Then more on this big global trade reset, probably a once in a 50-year occurrence. And then we'll finish with, is Trump trying to force a pivot from the Fed into lowering rates and QE? Okay, so first up, with all the craziness going on, let's take a look at this crazy price action. So starting off with the Bitcoin chart on the monthly, and this is the big capitulation event that happened. And even though we've had this most recent chaos, it's still down about 30%. So this is, as it stands, a normal correction that Bitcoin sees. So that's the first thing. And then when we look at the crypto market, this doesn't look dissimilar to many things that have happened before. In fact, if we look at it through a log chart to get the correct viewpoint comparing previous cycles, it really doesn't look any different to what's gone on before. This pattern has been repeating, and as this market grows and matures, it really, to me, doesn't look any different to normal crypto market behavior. But the really big shakeup is to do with stocks. So this is the S&P 500, and correction territory is this 10% drop, which is what it did initially. And then over a couple of days, it literally went down past 20%. So this is official bear market territory. And I think one of the worst drops over 2-3 days for like 50 years. So this makes me think, when stocks go down like this, similar to what happened in COVID, this is what forces the Fed's hand. And is Trump trying to do the same thing? So that is a big question mark for me. And then similar, if we look at the NASDAQ, it's a similar picture. Initial sell-off was about 13%, and then a nice 25%. And this has hit the major support line here of this previous high, November 2021. So this has now hit major support. Similar with the S&P 500, you can see after this massive run here, this is the level that just got tagged. So it's very, very interesting to see what happens from here. Now, as mentioned, altcoins have been absolutely crushed. If we take a look at Ethereum, let's just go back to a regular chart, and we can see the measured move from its high, which was only the end of last year. Ethereum is down. It was down 66%, currently about 65%. And if we take a look at the ETH BTC, this has got absolutely crushed, literally falling through the floor. So this is a big capitulation from the altcoins, with Ethereum being king of the alts, but it's a very similar picture across the board, whether it's Solana, Sui, even Coinbase, even MicroStrategy capitulated 10% just yesterday. So this is happening across the board. Now, we have to call out Ben from Into the Cryptoverse, as this is something that he's been saying is likely going to happen, a big capitulation in altcoins for quite some time. So this is the Ethereum USD, and he's been saying in previous cycles, Ethereum has always collapsed down into this band. And so far, it had never happened. So 2017 cycle, you can see it collapses down here. 2019, 2020, it collapsed down here. Obviously, this is what happened in COVID. So we have to say that this is probably an anomaly here. But even without that, it collapsed down. And then in this cycle, it's just been prolonged. And the big surprise of this cycle is just how long it's taken for the Fed to pivot, to end QT and to start QE, and also lower rates. Now, what I'm thinking is Trump, as this latest thing trying to reset global trade, this has finally pushed altcoins into capitulation. Now, I for one have just bought the dip, or more likely bought the crash, as if I look at what happened here, is this going to be a good time to buy altcoins? You would certainly think so. What about the last time this happened? If we take out what happened with the COVID anomaly, would have this capitulation been a good time to buy altcoins? Absolutely. So my bet is, do I think this is going to be a good time to buy altcoins? I bought ENS down 75%. My bet is that history will probably repeat, and likely yes. So what caused this final capitulation? Well, Trump has come to the table and said the US has about an $800 billion trade deficit with the world. So let's just round this up to $1 trillion, and true art of the deal style, he's now renegotiating with over 200 countries. However, the big one, the messy one going on right now, the big daddy is China, with the US buying an enormous amount of goods from China, being in a massive trade deficit. There is hard negotiations going on right now. We've had tariffs, we've had counter tariffs, we've had increasing, escalating tariffs. Now China are telling their banks to stop buying US debt. So this big war is going on right now. So this is probably a once in 50-year event. I certainly did not have this on my crypto bingo card for this year. But like everything, all the major events that have happened in crypto over the past several years, this too will get resolved and passed. And the other big question is, for me, is Trump trying to force the Fed? So one of the things that has shocked a lot of people in this market cycle is just how long it's taking for the Fed to pivot. It's still doing this quantitative tightening, and everybody's waiting for them finally to reverse course. We all thought it was going to happen by December, latest January, but then it got pushed into February, then got pushed into March. Here we are in April, and similar with their rates. After 2022, they're jacked up the rates all the way past 5%. Yes, they have reduced rates very, very slightly, still 4.5%, and way off where it was down here. So Trump has been posting that the Fed needs to cut rates. So I think he's probably trying to force his hand. And this is why it's all very messy right now. And this is when altcoins finally capitulate just before QE begins. We are in the big messy period. Now, projections for global M2 is that it's around about April that things are going to start picking up. Now, if China's economy is now really in trouble and the Asian markets are really in trouble and people are running into problems, this is what triggers QE. This is when you need help from the central banks. You begin printing money. This calamity going on right now is what causes the big shifts. So this is really exciting to see. It's exciting times, and it's in the chaos where cycles reverse. So the next 1 to 2 weeks is critical, and we've also got another big event happening on Thursday. The latest US CPI will be coming out, and Trueflation is predicting that it's going to be another big drop. So this will answer the question, Are Trump's tariffs actually causing inflation or disinflation? So let's see if Truflation is right. If there is a massive drop in US CPI, this could also trigger a massive relief rally. So huge day coming on Thursday. So as you can see, never a dull day in crypto. It's exciting times. Historically, these have been amazing buying opportunities. And like all crypto crashes before this too shall pass. In true art of the deal style, Trump is trying to do the impossible, completely reset global trade. With the US having nearly $1 trillion trade deficit, Trump is negotiating with all the countries. However, the big one is going to be China. This market chaos may also force a pivot from the Fed to QE and lowering rates, which is really what's needed for altcoins to go to the moon. Now, altcoin capitulations really do not happen very often, so I, for one, have borrowed money to buy as these 60 and 70 and 75% discounts for me are too good to miss. However, obviously not something I can recommend. Very high risk. And a massive CPI print coming out on Thursday to answer the question, are tariffs actually causing inflation or deflation? So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Now, the good news is that crypto and probably your favorite altcoin will be probably setting new highs 3 months from now. However, we're just in the middle of all the chaos right now. However, like every single crypto crash that has gone before it, this too shall pass. Now, if you do have any burning questions, then simply use super thanks below. However, just remember to get rid of 100% of the comment spam and trading bots that plague YouTube comments. We are trying out the new super thanks commenting system. So to get your question or comment read and replied to, or just to say thanks, then use super thanks below. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.